I woke to the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, carried on the chill morning air through my bedroom window. The sky was a deep, foreboding gray that seemed to press against the panes like a physical force. It was a smell I'd grown accustomed to over the summer months, ever since the neighbors had their garden redone, but now it felt almost anticipatory. The rain started just as I was making breakfast, a faint patter at first, then increasing in intensity until it became a relentless drumbeat against the roof and walls. I stood by the window, watching as droplets slid down the glass like tiny, transparent fingers. It was one of those days when the world outside seemed to be conspiring to stay inside. My mom had been acting strange lately, distant, almost withdrawn. At first, I thought it might have something to do with her work or our upcoming move, but as the weeks went by, she just seemed altered. She'd catch my eye in a room, but instead of smiling, she'd look away quickly, leaving me feeling like I'd imagined the whole thing. I finished breakfast and headed out into the rain, grabbing an umbrella on my way to school. It was one of those old-fashioned kind with wooden ribs and a worn leather handle, not exactly the most practical choice for a soggy day like today. But something about it seemed comforting. As I walked through the deserted streets, the rain seeping into my shoes, I felt a growing sense of unease. Maybe it was just my nerves, or maybe it was the way the trees creaked and swayed in the wind, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out to snag at my clothes. When I got home from school, my mom was sitting in the living room, staring blankly at a photograph on the coffee table. It was an old picture of our family, one taken when we first moved here, years ago. But as I looked closer, I realized it wasn't quite right. The faces seemed distorted, almost twisted. I hesitated for a moment before clearing my throat to announce my arrival. My mom didn't look up. She just kept staring at that picture with an expression that was equal parts sadness and terror. And then, in that instant, I saw it. A small, almost imperceptible movement of her lips. A smile, but not quite. As the days went by, things only got stranger. My mom's behavior grew more erratic. She'd be cooking dinner one minute, then suddenly freeze, staring at something only she could see. And that photograph on the coffee table, it was always there, like some kind of dark, unspoken presence in our home. But it wasn't until I stumbled upon an old diary hidden away in the attic that the truth began to sink in. My mom's handwriting was spidery and uneven, almost identical to the scrawl in that photograph. And as I read through her entries from all those years ago, I realized that this house, it had been a place of great sorrow for us long before we ever moved in. It was then that I saw the other picture, hidden away behind an old mirror frame. My mom's eyes were black as coal, her skin pale and stretched tight over her cheekbones, and around her neck, a small silver locket bearing the inscription, "For Emily, 1947. As I looked at that image, the rain pounding against the windows like a drumbeat in my mind, it became clear that we'd never actually moved into this house, not really. We'd just joined its family.